All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. It's really nice to have you with us again. I'm Daniel, and today I've got a really interesting topic lined up, one that, honestly, most of us will face at some point in our lives.
And I'm Anna. Lovely to be here, as always. And yes, today's one's a big one. It's about something that creeps up on you, often quietly, and makes you question everything you thought you knew about yourself.
Yeah. We're talking about identity crisis, that unsettling feeling of suddenly not knowing who you are anymore.
Exactly. And it's not always dramatic, is it? I think when people hear the phrase identity crisis, they picture some huge midlife meltdown. You know, quitting your job, buying a motorbike, moving to Bali.
Yeah, exactly. But in reality, it's often much quieter than that. Sometimes it's just this subtle sense that something's off. You wake up one morning and think, hang on, how did I end up here?
Yes, or you catch yourself doing something, the same routine, the same conversations, and you suddenly think, is this even me anymore? It's unsettling because nothing big has changed externally, but inside, everything feels different.
I had that, actually. A few years back, I was in this job that everyone around me thought was perfect for me. Good money, nice office, proper grown-up role. But I remember sitting on the train one morning, looking out the window and thinking, if this is success, why do I feel so empty?
Yeah, that hits hard, doesn't it? I can relate. It's strange, isn't it? Because everyone else sees you from the outside and goes, you're doing so well. But inside, it feels like you're wearing someone else's clothes. They fit, technically, but they're not yours.
Exactly that. And the weird thing was, I couldn't even explain it to anyone. How'd you tell people I don't feel like myself without sounding ridiculous?
Right, because it's not like you can point to a single event that caused it. It's this gradual disconnection, layer by layer, until you realise you've lost sight of who you actually are.
Yeah. And I think it's often triggered by our transitions, changing careers, moving somewhere new, ending a relationship, anything that shakes up your foundation.
Totally. For me, it happened after a breakup in my late 20s. I'd been in a long-term relationship for years, and when it ended, I didn't just lose a partner, I lost my sense of self. I'd become so tied up in being us that I forgot what I even meant.
Yeah, that's such a big one. I think so many of us do that. We start blending into the people around us. It starts with compromise, but before long, you're adjusting your entire personality to fit someone else's world.
Exactly. And the scary bit is you don't even notice it happening. You just think you're being caring, supportive. Then suddenly you wake up and realise you've been living as a side character in your own story.
Yeah, and when that story ends, you're left with silence. No script, no direction.
Yes, and it's terrifying. You start questioning everything. What you like, what you believe, what you even want from life. I remember standing in the supermarket once, staring at a shelf for like 10 minutes because I couldn't even decide what cereal I liked anymore.
Yeah, I've done that. You suddenly realise how much of your life has been shaped by habit and compromise.
Exactly. It sounds silly, but it's symbolic, isn't it? Those little everyday things show how much of ourselves we've handed over without even noticing.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason it's so painful is because our culture ties identity so tightly to achievement. Your job, your status, your relationships. The minute one of those disappears, it's like the whole structure collapses.
Totally. It's like, who am I without the title? And it's even worse with social media because everyone's busy performing this polished version of themselves online.
Yeah, it's like we've all become PR agents for our own lives.
Exactly. You end up curating a highlight reel, smiling photos, fancy trips. And after a while, even you start believing that's who you are.
Yeah. And then when you don't feel like that person inside, you think there's something wrong with you. Like, everyone else seems fine. Why can't I be?
Exactly. It's exhausting. And that's why I think identity crises are often quiet, because people feel guilty for even having them.
Yeah, You feel ungrateful, don't you? Like, I've got all these good things. I should be happy. But gratitude doesn't fix disconnection.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes the most honest thing you can say is, I don't know who I am right now, but I'm willing to find out.
Yeah, that's beautifully put. And that's what I love about these moments. Painful as they are, they open up the space for rebuilding.
Yes. And speaking of rebuilding, we actually got some listener messages on this topic. Should we read a couple?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, first one's from Jenna in Manchester. She says, I recently moved to a new city and everything feels unfamiliar. I feel like I've lost my sense of self and I don't know how to start feeling like me again. Any advice?
Ooh, I can relate to that. Moving somewhere new is huge. Everything familiar, your friends, your routines, even the small comforts like your favourite cafe disappears. For me, when I moved to London, I felt invisible at first, but slowly I started exploring new spots, joining a small music group, and just letting myself be a beginner again. And that helped me reconnect with myself.
Yes, and I think it's important to give yourself permission to feel lost. Sometimes we try to force our old identity onto the new environment, but what helps is tiny steps, rediscovering old hobbies, trying new experiences, even just sitting in a cafe and noticing the world around you.
Exactly. Okay, next listener message. This one's from Marco in Boston. He writes, I just left the job I loved, and suddenly I feel like I don't know who I am outside of work. How did you find yourself again?
Oh, I know that feeling. For me, after my breakup, I felt completely untethered. I started keeping a journal, writing down what I liked, what made me feel excited or peaceful. And slowly I noticed patterns, things that were uniquely me, independent of anyone else's expectations.
Yes, I did something similar. I picked up guitar again, just for myself, and I started volunteering at a community music project. Those small choices reminded me that my identity isn't just a job or a relationship, it's how I engage with life, what sparks joy.
Absolutely. And I think sharing these stories with listeners is so powerful because it reminds us we're not alone. Everyone goes through moments of disconnection.
Exactly. And the beautiful thing is, rebuilding your identity can be joyful. Rediscovering old passions, experimenting with new ones, meeting people that resonate with your true self. It's empowering.
Totally. And it's a process. Some days feel confusing, even scary, but each step, each small choice is part of reconnecting with who you are.
Yeah, and sometimes the most unexpected things spark rediscovery. For me, it was performing at a small open mic night. Not for anyone, not to impress, just to feel alive. That one night reminded me that I was more than my job title.
Oh, I love that. For me, it was a quiet evening painting by the river. I hadn't done that since I was a teenager, and suddenly it felt like I was meeting a friend I hadn't seen in years. Myself.
Beautiful image. It's those little moments that start to rebuild the bigger picture.
Yes. And to anyone listening right now, if you're feeling lost, it's okay. Take a walk, pick up a hobby, write down your thoughts. Small things matter.
Exactly. And the great part is, once you reconnect with small pieces of yourself, the bigger parts start falling into place naturally. It's not instant, but it's steady.
And that's really the takeaway. Identity isn't a static thing. It's a living, evolving part of you. Moments of doubt aren't failures. They're invitations to rediscover what matters.
Perfectly said. All right, I think that's a really nice spot to wrap this extended discussion.
Yes. So, to all our listeners, be patient with yourself, explore, experiment, and remember, you're allowed to not have it all figured out. You're allowed to grow, change, and rediscover yourself at any stage.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Take care of yourself, and remember, the journey to yourself is often the most rewarding adventure you can take.
Exactly. We'll see you next time, everyone. Be kind to yourselves and keep exploring.
Bye for now.
Bye.